Hello, my English language learning friends, and welcome back to the English Education Lab podcast, where we turn your English learning journey into something practical, exciting, and yes, even occasionally a little fun. I'm Carolina, and I've been an ESL teacher for over 2 decades. And today we are going to be diving into a topic that trips up even some of my most advanced learners: vocabulary. So most of the advanced learners that I know and work with typically have a huge, and I mean huge, inactive vocabulary, and you might fall into the very same category. So we are talking about students who recognize words when they hear them or when they read them in texts, where their brain goes, oh yeah, I know that one. But when it comes time to actually use them in conversation, the brain goes, nope, not today, maybe tomorrow. If that sounds familiar, don't worry, you are definitely not alone. And today we are going to explore why on earth this happens, and more importantly, how you can activate those words and make them yours for good. So first, let's talk about why so many words just fade from your active use. The science here is actually pretty clear. Going way back to 1885, a psychologist named Hermann Ebbinghaus studied memory and came up with something called the forgetting curve. Basically, he discovered that if you learn something new and then don't review it, your brain is likely to forget about 70% of it in just a few days. Yes, you guys, you heard that right, 70%. And here's the kicker for advanced learners. It's not just forgetting, it's interference. When you're trying to learn a bunch of similar words at the same time, your brain starts mixing them up. You'll know one, forget another, and suddenly you're stuck saying, what did I want to say? The thingy in the middle of a conversation. So what's the solution? To begin with, a little thing called spaced repetition. Instead of cramming all the new words in at once, you space them out. You learn a word today, review it tomorrow, then come back to it 3 days later, then a week later, and so on. Science says this is one of the most effective ways to move words from your short-term memory into long-term memory. And in fact, a 2015 study in the journal Memory and Cognition confirmed that spaced repetition can increase word retention, that means keeping the word in your active memory, by over 50% compared to cramming. Now, that is pretty impressive. Now, spaced repetition gives your brain the schedule it needs to retain words. But just reviewing a word isn't always enough. Our brains love engagement and meaning. And that's where a few memory hacks come in. These aren't replacements for spaced repetition. They make your review sessions just far more effective. And they help move words from passive recognition into active use, which is exactly what we want. So first, we have something called the testing effect. Simply reading a word over and over is, well, let's face it, kind of boring. And honestly, your brain isn't really truly impressed with it. But if you quiz yourself, actively trying to recall the word, you strengthen that memory. So here's a quick tip. Write a word on a sticky note, put it somewhere in the house, and see if you can remember what that word is before you actually see it again. It's like giving your brain a little workout. Second, something called chunking and association. This is where creativity really pays off, and you can have a lot of fun with this. Group words by topic or by the root or base word, and then make a silly or vivid association. So, for example, take the word gregarious, which basically means sociable. Picture your friend Greg at a party shouting, "I love people." Your brain will never forget it because it's funny, visual, and personal. And third, something we call context-based learning. Words are way easier to remember when you see or hear them in real situations, not just in isolation. So throw out that list of 1,000 words that you intend to learn. Rote learning is very rarely helpful. So read articles, watch TV shows, listen to podcasts, or, as all of my students would tell you, my favorite, write your own sentences using the word. The more natural the context, the better your brain will remember it. Now, here's the part most advanced learners overlook. Recognizing a word doesn't mean you can use it. That inactive vocabulary is like having a bunch of tools in a garage. You see them, you know what they're there for, but you never actually use them. So how can you activate those words and make them part of your active vocabulary? All right, we want to, number one, use them in conversation. Make a goal to use 5 or 10 words every week. This can be in online classes, talking with friends, or if neither of those two are possible, talk to yourself in a mirror. Yes, I know it sounds weird, but I promise you, talking to your reflection counts. Your brain really doesn't care. Number 2, role play and mini dialogues. Write little conversations where you naturally use your target words. The key is to push yourself, to force yourself to pull those words out of storage and not just recognize them passively. Number 3, explain words to somebody else. Teaching truly is an incredibly powerful tool. So try explaining a new word to a friend, a classmate, or even your pet, your dog, your cat. Science shows that the act of teaching something strengthens memory and retrieval, meaning your ability to take that word when you need it and use it. Number 4, combine speaking, writing, and thinking together. Use a new word in a sentence out loud, write it down, and then mentally repeat it a few times. The more modes you use, the stronger the connection. And of course, make it fun. Say the word in a silly accent, exaggerate it in a dramatic way, or even imagine a funny scene using it. Your brain loves humor, and funny connections stick far better than boring ones. So here's your simple, science-backed plan for mastering vocab. Learn words in context, not in isolation. Use spaced repetition to review them over time. Actively test yourself. Don't just read. Chunk and associate words creatively. And then, last but not least, activate your inactive vocabulary by speaking, writing, teaching, and having fun with the words. Do this consistently, and I promise you those words that used to hide in your brain will start popping up naturally in your conversations. You'll feel more confident, more fluent, and dare I even say it, like a vocab superhero. All right, my friends, that is it for today's episode. Remember, vocabulary isn't about cramming every new word into your brain at once. It's about making words your friends, using them, playing with them, and letting them move from passive recognition to active use. Now, if you found this episode helpful, and if you love these memory hacks and want more tools to actually use English in your life, check out English Education Lab at www.englisheducationlab.net. We've got loads of resources to help you take your learning to the very next level. If you're looking for a more hands-on approach, please consider booking a trial lesson with me whereby we sit down, discuss your language learning needs and goals, and we create a curriculum that we can follow together. Shoot me an email at info@englisheducationlab.net if you're interested. Until next time, my friends, keep speaking, keep experimenting, and keep having fun with English. Your vocabulary and your brain will thank you for it.